Happy Wednesday, everybody. My name is Dean.
And my name is Tyler.
And this is According to Low Elo. And first I want to say sorry for, lack of episodes the last couple of days. Last week, I think we said it was Tyler's birthday. So Everyone, hope you wished him happy birthday. And we kind of chilled out for the weekend and, got some shit going.
It's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah, for sure. But we got some episodes back this week for you. So including this one. And then Thursday, because of the American holiday on Monday, the patch gets pushed back from Wednesday to Thursday. So Thursday is the patch, and then Friday will be champ review. So got 3 days of us. So sit back and enjoy this content that's coming your way.
Yeah, I just wanted to apologize to all of our non-American friends who don't observe President's Day. That's the reason your patch is getting delayed. And there's the unofficial notes that are out. We're going to wait for the official notes to come out. That way we know the numbers are corrected, and we'll go over that in what's probably the next episode before we get the champ review. So, I guess without further ado, I don't have anything else to intro with unless you had anything else you wanted to talk about at the top here.
Not that I can think of.
Awesome. So, we're going to do like a mailbag kind of episode. It's like a medley. There's not really a specific topic, and there's a bunch of little things that I kind of wanted to touch on, but don't fit in with anything else that we typically do. And I think they would take a considerable amount of time off of any other video, so I didn't want to have us here for an hour and a half video later when we can knock some of this stuff out sooner. Right. So that's just kind of what we got. A couple topics, but one of the ones that popped off at the end of last week and we didn't get to talk about just because we didn't have another episode. Came from the LCS, a drama in the LCS between players, which is kind of a newer thing. We haven't had that in a while. I mean, really since Doublelift in his prime, calling out every opposing player, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's surprising this has nothing to do with Doublelift.
Right, that's the craziest thing, is it's usually Doublelift doing something where people are not happy about what he has to say, or they're not, he used to have a lot of friendly banter back and forth, and then as of late, obviously he's been firing shots at TSM and at Reggie a lot for everything, and I think deservedly so, because Reggie's kind of a douche, so, but this had nothing to do with either of them, or TSM even, which is quite surprising, as they've been usually the ones under fire. This one is a Team Liquid and Cloud9 beef. You guys may have heard from Sven and Jan. I think it's Jan. And I'd say beef with quotations because it's like, it's not real true crazy beef, but like it's still like, I don't know, a little back and forth between the two. But it was rather interesting. Been seeing a lot of people talk about it, and a lot of people have been sounding off about it, even as late as now as well, that they're sounding off about some of the stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about and get some other people's opinions and ideas on it. And I'll give you my take first, but let's break down kind of what actually happened, because I think that's probably the most important piece. As long as we go over the issue first, and then we can always circle back around. But basically, in the game, I believe it was the Friday game, which would have been one of the last ones of the week. Yeah, February 17th. After the game, Sven kind of walked up as they do their post-game handshakes or fist bumps or whatever.
The GGs. Yeah,
the GGs. Sven looks at Jan and he says, "No thanks," and just walks right past him. No fist bump, nothing.
Trying to see if I can get a clip. I'd rather not go through the whole VOD.
I can get you a clip right here.
Okay, go ahead and link it to me really quick. But yeah, I can't remember if during the game they mentioned any of the before game banter.
I don't think so.
So here you go. Let me show you guys the screen here. So guys, in case you missed it, so yeah, it's pretty disrespectful, and it's
super disrespectful.
It's great. It's fucking great.
And like it's pretty nuts. I mean, I don't know if you had the audio on, but hearing Raz laughing in the background was kind of funny. But yeah, in the I think it was in the pregame, or it was in game possibly.
I think it was pregame, the lobby when they were getting ready to make it.
Yeah. Jan decided to trash talk, and he said that Liquid's Academy team was better than C9. Which is that's a lot to say, because the Academy team or the TL LCS team has not been faring very well thus far in the season. So it's pretty nuts to say, and I wonder if he said that with a bit of sarcasm to it, and it wasn't supposed to be taken super seriously. But after that, Sven looked at Jan and said, "Go back to Academy." After they beat them. And that was pretty nuts. Usually when there's trash talk and certain things, like, you still do the sportsmanship handshake or whatever. And I think this is the first time I've ever seen someone just like not shake someone's hand. I don't know about you.
Yeah, as far as I can remember, no, I haven't seen anyone not like, fist bump. Because like I'm again watching the clip, Jan is like, he's standing there with his fist out.
He's like,
okay. You can't really see his face, but it almost looks like, I think Jan was like laughing when he didn't get it. I want to say just like,
maybe.
I don't think he was butthurt.
I don't think so.
I don't know. It feels bad because he was like talk all this trash, and then I think did they end up shitting on him that game? Cloud9 was losing early game, but like
I think so. And then they came back and just
they've been having really poor early games this whole split, but Liquid is just, I don't know what's going on with that team when they're like talking about they like practice for how many fucking hours a day, and then
dude, a lot. Yeah, I don't understand that either.
like train like playing solo queue to like 3 a.m. or something crazy like that, and I'm like, bro, what's their record now? Are they like 3-6 or something?
6. They're 3-6. I was trying to see if I could find these stats on the game, but I don't see it on the website. I'd probably have to dig for it, and I don't really want to dig for it. But yeah, they it was
eighth place, bro. They are sitting in 8th place.
It's pretty bad, dude. It really is actually pretty bad. They're just getting shellacked, which is unfortunate for them, but it is what it is. They're trying something out, and probably this split they'll write off, and they'll move on to the next one. But I know it's a bunch of Korean players getting together and trying to make a team in NA full of Korean players. I don't really understand, because
two world champions on that team, and they're getting shit on.
right. It's nuts, but I'm sure they'll catch up. They got to get on the same page as part of it. There may not be enough time. They may have enough time this split to sneak into playoffs, but I'm sure by next split they'll be ready to go. I don't think that some of the other teams that are ahead of them are actually better than the players on Liquid. But what I wanted to get into was the reactions from the community. It's kind of nuts. I've seen a lot of people cheering on the idea, especially a lot of like, I guess you'd call them influencers, not by job, but by community view, I guess, like Dominate and Myth and guys like that. A lot of them were very, very upset that Sven apologized so quickly. And he did apologize very quickly, actually. Let me see if I can find it. So,
I feel like he didn't even need to apologize.
Right.
But he might have been pressured by the community.
I don't think anyone pressured him, actually. So one of the tweets that I saw, and actually I was tagged in, is like I'm assuming it's a fan. I don't know who posted it. It's blurred out at the top. It says, "What the fuck? I don't care if he was talking shit. This is just rude. This has to have some insane context to be justified." And then Sven said, "I didn't shake his hand after the match because he called us worse than our academy team after they won the team fight at Drake. In the game, I thought it was distasteful to talk shit after they won the fight, but in hindsight, I think I was a bit out of line as well." And that's kind of him saying like, "Hey, like, I am sorry. I should have shaken your hand. I was upset but it wasn't that big of a deal. And I think, like, I don't know, I get the idea of like people want the drama because that's what you see in traditional sports, right? You see guys like, for example, Kyrie Irving, who just got traded from the Nets, who created a lot of drama there, and it brings more people in that just want to see the drama. I guess it's like the best way to put it. They just want to see that stuff, and you don't really get that in LCS. But I would push back on the idea that like you need that kind of drama. I think there's other drama that you could have, right? Like obviously there's the team drama, and that's what got Gabby in some hot water about TSM, which I think was not solely her fault. And I think that there was some overreactions on Double Lift side in comparison to this sort of thing. I think like she was just writing a monologue, but they're trying to create some drama, and I think a lot of people are saying like that drama failed, but this drama would have prevailed. And I think that this drama is the drama you want to stay away from, though. I don't think players having, I would call it hatred, for lack of a better word, towards other players is good for the league.
I mean, I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's hatred or like similar to that. I think it's just all in good fun though. He probably shouldn't have, he should have fist bumped. I mean, it's just, I also feel like the reason he apologized is probably because Riot might have been like, hey, you know, that was like, you're displaying poor sportsmanship. Like, you guys can talk shit in game, but like, I don't know. Yeah, no, I guess. I don't know.
I think I read that LCS did not push him into this. That this was his own doing, and I don't remember where I saw that, but I'm pretty sure I read that it was Sven who decided to put out that apology because it was being talked about so much or whatever. And like I said, it's kind of a half-baked apology, so it's not even like a real apology. Like it's just kind of like, yeah, that's why I did that, you know. But it seems like the beef is squashed. I think he realized he overreacted to something, and I think that's fair. I think people should be allowed to like overreact to it, but maybe there was some sort of community or maybe some internal, maybe Jack said, hey, you know, maybe don't do that, like you need to correct that or whatever. But I don't think it came from LCS directly. A lot of people, no one's really made a comment on whether or not they think the LCS has influenced that decision on Sven's behalf, but we'll never know because that's back of the house stuff that they're never going to tell us, you know, until maybe he retires or something. But it's not, I don't think it's that pivotal of a moment in regards to the other things that happen in the league, right? Because didn't who just got benched after this game too?
Oh, Diplex?
Yeah, Diplex. God, I never remember his name. Diplex just got benched and sent down to the Challenger League or Academy League or whatever they're calling it, the NACL, the Salt League. And God, I don't remember the name of the guy who's replacing him.
Enem? Is it N
something like
something? That. Well, he's doing like tryouts, right? I don't think it was set in stone yet.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch the whole story on that, but I did find that it was kind of funny that Jan said that, and it turned out to be a big thing, and then all of a sudden they had Diplex sub in Challenger. I was like, oh, maybe there was something to that. Maybe, you know, he was trying to take a little jab. Maybe it wasn't supposed to be a big jab, but a little jab, and there's a lot of things that players know about other teams behind the scenes that we don't. You know, like okay. When you listen to Hotline League, a lot of times if they have players on, there's certain things they'll talk about, there's certain things they can't talk about, and then sometimes they're like players turned coaches will talk about maybe their experiences as a player and some of the things that they had gone through, and they do talk about knowing a lot more about other players and teams than the public ever knows. So there may have been something there. Maybe Jan had caught wind that there was rumblings that Diplex might get sent down. So maybe that's why Sven took extra or was extra upset about it, you know.
What's funny as fuck too is I think it was after that game when Fudge was chilling with Cutie. They they were doing like the dare box segment, and the question that she asked him was, if you had to get rid of one of your teammates, who would it be? And he literally said Diplex.
Oh, jeez.
But he claimed is because he's the newest member. Like
it's not the like. It's
wrong answer.
Right, and I can see that. I think there's a world where that makes total fucking sense. Like, yeah, he is the newest guy on the team, so it's gonna probably be the one he has the least connection with. That's pretty standard shit. But that's pretty funny. I didn't even catch that. That's pretty funny. A lot of people have been drawing comparisons to like CB LOL. I don't know if you ever see the Brazilian league. I think that's the league where the dude had written something on his bicep.
Okay.
At
something
Worlds.
diff, like
bot diff, I think, or whatever. Yeah, whatever he wrote. So I think that's I think that was from CB LOL. And they do a lot of shit talking. Like they will stand up, on stage while they're playing or whatever, and be like, tell guys to fucking retire, like across the the stage or whatever. So like they're pretty nuts. And people are like, yeah, you guys can be like CB LOL, but like I don't think LCS wants to be that way. I think a lot of times people draw comparisons to traditional sports when they're talking about esports, and after listening to a couple episodes of Hotline League and listening to Mark and even Travis sometimes say, like, it's time to throw away that comparison because they play out so differently. Like, throw that comparison away. Like, that doesn't really translate, right? There's some things that will translate and there's others that won't. So you got to throw away that comparison because the practice schedules are different. There's just so many different things, and they just don't match up. So comparing certain aspects don't make sense when all of the other aspects also aren't the same. So I think what it comes down to, though, is the LCS really defining what do they want to be or what do they want to bring? Do they want to bring a certain kind of drama, or do they want to be a more professional buttoned-up league? Would they prefer to be a little bit looser? I think right now they're probably a little too buttoned up, and they want to loosen it up a little bit. If you notice, like, a lot of the casters have been wearing stuff from their own wardrobe, not from the suit and tie wardrobe, kind of following in the LEC's standard where they let people kind of wear whatever they want on stage to express themselves, And I think that's a good formula. I think that allows you to know some of these casters and commentators better, and understand who they are, where they come from better than what we already know. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think at the end of the day?
I mean, I enjoy a little bit of like banter, shit talking. Sure. I like when obviously we're not able to see their like pregame lobby, and sometimes I know Flowers likes to read a lot of the shit that they're talking about. But I know JoJo does a lot of shit. Well, it's not. I don't know. I guess it's whatever your definition of shit talking is, but it's just like, yeah. I like that. It makes it a little more interesting. Otherwise, it'd just be dry. I'm like, maybe not like, could you imagine like them like shit talking like Dignitas? Like, if you're an 09 team, I don't think you deserve, like, you don't need another fucking, you don't need like FlyQuest, like all chatting saying you guys fucking suck.
Yeah, don't punch down. Don't punch down.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess Liquid now is not doing great, but like, sure, they're maybe lower middle of the pack, but if it was like Immortals or something, unless they're like talking shit back, I don't know. I don't really, the like physical interaction, like the fist bump, I feel like you should just always do that no matter what. Agreed. That's just, it makes you look good, it makes the league look good, makes your team look good, whether you win or lose. But yeah, I think it's fine. There just might be like there might be a line that just might be too much, and him not fist bumping was probably right.
Right, and I agree with you. I think that's a pretty solid, understandable take because yeah, otherwise, like, what are we doing? Just having like a salty league? That's what the whole thing started off as when it originally began, was just salty shit like that. So like, what are we doing? You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have evolved. We don't have to be back to that goblin like dungeon. You know, I don't know how to explain it, but like just that crappy behavior. Like, no, this is a league. You know, we have good sponsors. We have franchises. Like, let's act like we're professionals. And I think it's cool to talk shit, but I think, like you said, the fist bump or the handshake or whatever it is, whatever your post good game ritual is that LCS wants to provide, I think that's a must. I've played plenty of Little League baseball games where we got the pants beaten off of us, and it was like, nope, you still got to go shake hands after the game. It's like, just do it, man. Like, you know, you don't want to, but lose with grace and win with grace. But moving on from that, that's all I got about that particular subject. There's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. One of them is the state of the game through these first few patches, first month really of the ranked season being open. I would pose the question, how do you feel about the game so far for the split? I know Dean's answer, and I know my answer. I want to know kind of what you guys are thinking. There should be a thread open in the Discord.
Yeah, there is.
In the under these suggestions tab about your thoughts on season 13. And actually, Buddy Red had given us a nice little blurb, Dean, if you want to read that out.
Yeah, so he wrote and said, game feels mostly the same as last season. Don't really care about the new items at this point. Just changes the builds a bit. But enjoying the system changes. They seem to continue to be implementing the new LP changes. Look very good for casual players to hit their peaks while being able to maintain the 2 to 3 games a night. Now, Timmy's mom and dad can feel a bit more accomplished in their rank grind at the end of the day after putting little Timmy down.
That was such a funny little analogy. Like, when I read that, I was dying laughing. Thank you for that, Buddy Red.
No, it's for sure. Like, I don't really play that many games nowadays. I mean,
right.
When I mean games, I mean like Summoner's Rift.
Right.
Like full games. But no, I agree. I know unless it's coming in this patch, they are fixing LP losses gains, so it should be a little more fair. Like, yeah. You shouldn't be, if you have a good positive win rate, you should be getting, like, I've seen people like get like 13. I don't know. It's fucked up. They've acknowledged it and they should be fixing it. I've
noticed I get actually quite a bit of LP when I win, but I've only got like 20 games maybe. If that on my solo account. So if I win, I'm getting like 20 LP, and if I lose, I'm only losing like 12. So that feels really good, because it used to be like 17 and 14, and that fucking sucked. Or 17 and 15, that's like, dude, you're never getting anywhere. Because there's a lot of like, maybe you win 2, lose 1, or win 2, lose 2, and like, cool, I've got a net gain of 6. Where now it's like, I have a net gain of 16. Like, I feel like I'm actually making progress and actually climbing a ladder, so to speak.
I would just say the game state, I think, is okay. I know wrote here that there's a lot of viable champions.
A ton of viable champions.
Yeah, I feel like every lane, I feel like in like past patches, people will be like obviously before, like, ADCs don't feel impactful. Boom, they got the IE Navori changes. Top lane does not feel satisfactory to play, or like it feels weak because they were forced to build, tanks were forced to build Sunfire items. Boom, we got Heartsteel, we got Jack Show, we got all these new items coming in. I don't think there's a weak lane, like position now, whereas like right. But I guess like my problem doesn't come with in-game mechanics right now. I guess the only thing I could talk about about that in-game stuff is there's too many fucking champions to ban right now, and we need to we need to get more bans in Champ Select.
Well, there's so many champions to ban. Like, you think about it, like, fuck, you got to get rid of this. Like, it still feels like you got to get rid of Annie. Still feels like you got to get rid of Zach. And then there's 3 bans, and people aren't even banning matchups, which usually is what you do, right? It's like, hey, I got a champion, I'm gonna ban a matchup where I'm weak against this champion or whatever. And that's not even what's happening. It's like you're just banning OP picks because you can't beat the other side of the map, which kind of feels bad, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know how else to put it. Like when you watch LCS, right? You have teams that are banning champions that are OP, and they also know like pocket pick champions, right? Like don't let Bjergsen have Zillion, for example. Obviously, you don't get that in solo duo, but what you do get is you have the OP champions, and then you have like, this is my counter. This is a champion I just simply can't play against. Like for me, for whatever reason, I just get fucked playing against Darius, or I can't play very well against Tristana. I don't know why, but Tristana is like a kryptonite to me. I just suck at playing against that champion. Even as a support role, I don't know what the fuck to do. But I also can't play that champion the same way it gets played against me. So, like if I play ADC, chances are I'm probably be banning either Caitlyn or Tristana. But Caitlyn is the OP pick right now, so why am I banning Tristana? I have to ban this thing instead, which leaves me open to still the counter pick and getting smashed in that regard. So that definitely feels bad. However, the diversity that comes out of that feels good.
For sure. You got your mega OP champs, and then there's like your S tiers.
Right.
And then there's a healthy amount of A tiers underneath that are just as good.
Or S minus even, not even.
Sure. Well, I was just accompanying.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's pretty healthy. I feel like the items aren't too like overpowering. I think the IE Navori things are fine.
Yeah.
I'm still in games where people aren't building them, and I just don't. There's people in LCS, players in LCS that aren't building them, and I just don't understand. I just too small brained, but like I don't understand
why you're not.
I mean, there's some champions like if you're playing like Kai'Sa, if you get Phantom Dancer, that will basically evolve your E and your Q. So I guess that makes sense. But like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just too small brained.
Well, Kai'Sa also has her passive too, where she doesn't necessarily need. She's an interesting champion in terms of the way her build works and the way her kit works. She's kind of an exception to that rule. There's only a couple exceptions, right? Kai'Sa being one of them. Shit, I couldn't even tell you another exception to that rule, and I have the champions list open, and I can't even think of another exception to that rule. So that just tells you, like, yeah, I don't understand why everyone's not building these.
The crit modifiers.
Right. Like it's right there in front of you for you to take and use and smash people with. So like, why are we not doing that?
I think actually another champion. Obviously, you build these items eventually, but I think Zeri is another good example with Hurricane.
Right.
Hurricane second is really fucking good.
Right. But
yeah,
but when you see your Caitlyn not laying into the crit, like, bro, you have free crits in your kit. Like, why are you not laying into the IE? Like, leave Collector alone. Fuck that item. Get yourself an IE. You don't have to rely on Collector if you have IE, if you know what I'm saying. But I do see items in other areas as well. Like, I remember at the beginning of the season, we thought Jack-Show was pretty OP, and I know they brought it down a little bit. And it's sort of leveled out with champions using that and Radiant and Heartsteel. And so now I feel like there's actually like some diversity in the tank items, and it's not just every non-tank player building tank items.
I hardly see anyone building Heartsteel.
Right. The only time I really see that is like a more aggressive champion, like a Set.
Yeah.
And he's building that maybe third item. Usually he's rushing Bork or something like that. But like a lot of the other, and Set's like a bruiser, right? So he does okay with that item. He also could do okay with other items. I mean, obviously Gore Drinker, Stride Breaker are a thing, although he's got a lot of diversity there. A lot of times I see them building Heartsteel, which I think is fine. You get one good extra big punch, you know? Other champions like like Braum in the bot lane, he can go Radiant Virtue, which I think is still good as a support tank item. He could go Locket, he can go Even Shroud, although I think Even Shroud probably sucks for Braum in particular because you have to actually get the stun off or land the ulti to get it. But regardless, I mean he has some item diversity there where in the past it was like if you're playing Braum, you're building Locket, and that's what you build. Other champions like Nautilus can make use of all three of those items very well. You still see enchanters in the bot lane still using any one of the three enchanter items. So I feel like that's actually really healthy. And you still see the marksman supports too. So I think it makes the support role quite difficult and knowing exactly what to play and what's strong. You know what I mean? It seems like I think I saw like Janna, Blitzcrank, and I don't remember what the other champion was. Yeah, Rakan.
Annie is really good in support.
Sure. And so there's like those are 3 or 4 different style champions completely, right? So that's pretty cool to see. That's like really kind of refreshing. It's more of a chess game in that regard. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the state of the game. And speaking on that, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody put out that this is fixed, but I also haven't seen anybody posting about this since it came out as the Aurelion Soul bug. That shit is fucking nasty. But I believe it has to be an Aurelion Soul on your team and a Mordekaiser on the enemy team. And if Aurelion Soul casts the, is it called Singularity?
Is this ulti? Or
no, the black hole. Yeah,
okay.
The E. That sucks you in. When he gets ulted by a Mordekaiser while that's up, it doesn't go away. And if there was champions in the middle of that, they just continuously take damage for like minutes. I think I've seen as far as 14 minutes. I actually posted the link to the article.
Yeah, I'll bring it up here.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen a video of it. Oh, he was temporarily disabled, so they must have fixed it.
Let's see. I'm watching
Possibly.
this.
It's pretty gross. So the reason it states of why this works, so it only occurs if Aurelion Soul places his Singularity on the map and is subsequently sent to the Death Realm by Mordekaiser. If any opposing players are caught in Singularity's area of effect, and they're probably sentenced to an early trip back to the shop. This is because once Aurelion Soul's E ability times out, the ability glitches because of Mordekaiser's Realm of Death, causing any players hit by the pull to continuously suffer the burn damage that they'd normally take from Singularity if it was still active on the map. The debuff doesn't disappear and they'll slowly burn to death from a phantom ability. There's no way to combat this effect until you accept your fate and let your champion die, where the burn finally ends. As a whole, however, players shouldn't pick Mordekaiser against Aurelion Soul, or if they do, they shouldn't try using their ultimate ability against him right now. The margin for error is far too great, and in late game situations, this glitch could be the difference between a win and a loss. So they haven't fixed it. At the time of writing, the developers have yet to release a hot fix to rectify this bug. And this was put out February 21st at 1:26 p.m. So it's not fixed.
I'm curious what the bug duplication chances or like how often.
Right.
I will say it doesn't affect me because I'm always banning Aurelion Soul. Champion's OP. So
the champion's busted as fuck.
I don't see it. But no, that's pretty not good.
Right. So pretty fucking nuts. And then the last thing I just wanted to touch on, and this is just a little fun one, is last week Riot released, was it last week, I think? At the beginning of the week, they released a video with 3 teasers for upcoming games. The only one that got a follow-up teaser was Mage Seeker, the Silas game. The other 2 have not gotten any follow-ups. That was the Project X and the RPG game, right?
It was Convergence and Song of Nunu.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. I don't remember all of them, but
yeah.
Mage Seeker is the 2D pixel style game featuring Silas. Seems interesting. It seems like it's a little bit of an expansion on Silas's backstory, which I think is cool. I like it when they do that. Hopefully this game gets added to his lore. I think
might expand on it a little bit more.
Right. Similar to how the Ruin King game sort of brought some other lore, although I don't think the Ruin King game is technically canon to the whole lore
See, I'm
as a
confused
whole.
on that too, because with Ari's like visual updates, and she has new
Yeah.
voice lines, she
Yeah.
has a lot of references to the Rune King events.
Right. And actually I thought that game was awesome for the story that they did tell, so I would like them to make a statement one way or the other officially, so we know, is this part of the game? Is this not part of the story? I think it was really cool. I think it was rather creative, and so I'm hoping this game can bring something like that to Silas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm always hungry for more content. Like,
Right.
I guess I technically I could sit through here and read all lore and stuff, but like,
I'm not gonna do that.
if I can learn that through a game, it's way more enjoyable, right?
Yes, way better, way more engaging for sure. Um, so yeah, I mean, the teaser is pretty short. It's like a minute long, and it's mostly just exposition
Yeah.
from Silas, kind of about why he's so angry, and not even totally why he's so angry, just that he is angry, more or less. But if you guys get a chance, I think it's on the client on the homepage. Give it a quick watch. It looks pretty cool. Mage Seeker, Breaker of Chains. I feel like he's Khaleesi, dude. He's gonna have 16 names. But unless you have anything else, that's about what I got.
Now to say a game quality, and we don't have to sit on this because I could talk about this for an hour.
Oh, that's the one thing I forgot to mention in that. Go on, but I forgot to mention something.
Game quality, to me and Tyler at least, has been unbelievably poor.
It's awful.
I'm like, I know I've said this I've said this many times, but like, I think overall I do not enjoy playing this game as much as I used to.
Sure.
It just, I try to be so optimistic. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna play with my friends and stuff, but it's like, unless I have a full 5-man, this game almost feels even if you have 4, and like we're even playing a normal game, so like there's no stakes. But like yesterday, we're recording this on Tuesday. Yesterday, we tried to get into a game. We got into a game and then a remake because someone was AFK,
Yep.
and then we went the next 2 times through Champ Select. We got to 1 second before the game starting, and someone dodged. And it was about like a 25-minute, 30-minute. I'm just like, fuck this. Like, I'm wasting my time right now, and it's not worth it. And I know we're probably gonna get shit on anyways, because the game feels like it's not about skill right now. It's not about skill. It's about who has the least mentally stable people, and whoever. I think it's if you want to talk about how it's whoever can get bot lane going first. I think. Majority of games.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like,
who's willing to coordinate, to tap on that or to touch on that? Like, who's willing to coordinate with the team and who's not? Funnily enough, today I did a VOD review with Purple on the Karma game that we played with that Zeri that was super fed early on that we ended up losing because the Zeri and I believe it was our mid laner.
No, it was our top laner.
Our top laner.
Set, right?
Yeah. That just, like, first off, set building Hullbreaker third item after he's already taken the 2 turrets on the top side, and there's only one tier 2 turret left up. Terrible idea. I don't know why you're building Hullbreaker at that point. That's a waste of an item slot.
And grouping.
But yeah, then Zeri always being on the wrong side of the map. And so Purple and I went down. He goes, all right, let's see if we can figure out what you're doing wrong. And and I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. Let's do that. And we went through and pointed out, like, hey, at this point, we should have done this and this, or you should have done this and this. Or point like, oh, hey, the Poppy was too overeager and took a bad fight. It could have been a good fight, but with the information you have now, you see it was a bad fight, probably too overeager, and that's fine. You're gonna make mistakes like that. That happens. That's fine. Being too overeager to take a fight when you think you have everybody there, but it's the hey, the whole team has been pinging Baron, and we're going to Baron, and your Zeri's farming. Not even a pushed up bot lane. Like when it's maybe at the Nexus tower or not the next tower, but the inhibitor tower or the inhibitor itself, and there's a fat wave there, like maybe it makes sense, you know, hey, clear that up and then we'll delay the start of this and get it set up while you make your way up here. It wasn't even that. They're literally at the river clearing minions while the rest of the team is at Baron and trying to prevent the enemy team from taking Baron. Not even taking it's like, hey, they're on it. We got to go stop them from being on it. Whether we get one pick, that might be enough to dissuade them, which ultimately it was until we overstayed because Zeri actually never came. If Zeri came, it wouldn't have been an overstay. We would have had the damage to finish off the Baron and turn the fight. But from that point on, it seemed like the set got tilted and made a bunch of bad decisions, like ulting people and himself out of like a redemption drop.
No, yeah, I remember that.
Refusing to coordinate, like
it
was very, and then it just kind of tilted. I mean, and then it tilted everybody else. And it felt like at that point there was nothing that I could do to change the output of the game, because if we tried to play and do what Set was doing, Zeri doesn't come. If we try to play and do what Zeri's doing, the Set doesn't come. And it's like, we just need a 5v. We have a great front-to-back team fight with a Karma, a Poppy, a Set, and I don't remember who our mid laner was.
I can look really quick.
But we had an excellent front-to-back team fight. It's like, why are you guys not... Why are we not doing this? Like, it's right here for the taking. Like, it's not a crazy tough game or whatever.
It was an Ahri.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. And we had an Arya that was playing actually rather well. A couple problems I think that tilted some people is like there was a dragon fight that we were at, and we were getting flanked by a Vayne, and she missed her charm, and that's why we lost the fight. It's like, okay, well, you know, sometimes you're gonna lose on someone's skill. But when the other players, and that was a fight without Set, and we would have been fine. Had she landed the charm, we would have been fine because we blow up Vayne and win the fight. The rest of their team was useless. Vayne was the only one that had gold and stats, right? But it's like, okay, she's not landing the charms, which means Set, I need you to come. You got to come and fight with us then. You know, she's going to try to flank. Even if she doesn't land the charms, if we have a line of 4 and then an Ahri flanking, we still can win these fights. They're not strong. You know, they're rather weak. Zeri was strong and whatnot, but we just couldn't get the team to coordinate. And, like, nothing feels worse than losing not on the merit or skill. Because I don't think that these players were overmatched for the elo that we played in. They just were refusing to coordinate. That's the best way I can put it. Like, if we just could have gotten everybody coordinated, that game was an easy win. We were kicking their ass. They had objective bounties like 3 times. How do you lose that game if you're coordinated? You don't lose that game at all. There's no way you relinquish that lead.
I'm looking at the gold graph. We were ahead almost 8,000 gold and through the lead.
Right. Like, it's not that fucking hard. It's not that fucking hard. But I feel like recently it's been a lot of poor coordination, a lot of people yelling at each other. It's like, bro, it's 2 minutes in the game. Quit fucking yelling at somebody. I played a Janna game earlier. I had a Vlad who, yeah, he was getting duked on to start. He came back and made a game out of it, you know what I mean? But, like, he was too busy arguing with our Vi, and then trying to talk trash about our Samira, who was, like, actually playing rather well until she, you know, they had a Nocturne with an Axiom arc, and at one point he was just ulting, like, on cooldown, and it was, like, what are you gonna do, right? The team, again, refused to group, and if we would have had everybody together, when Nocturne ults, he's not gonna pick somebody off. But everyone wanted to play a 2-3 lane. It's like, no, we just need to power down mid. We actually are way stronger than the rest of them. If we just play grouped, Darius and Nocturne don't kill us, and their Diana sucked, so we just win that game. It was a 44-minute game. I mean, we're all level 18. Like, you just need some strategy, and the team wasn't willing to play with strategy. And like I said, nothing feels worse than playing a game where, like, the skill is pretty even, but you just can't fucking coordinate.
Well, I think that's a part of skill.
Sure. I should say the mechanical skill is pretty even, because those are they're not mechanics. I guess they're theory or whatever. But yeah, just not understanding the game. versus not understanding like how to play a certain champion are two different things. And I felt like everyone understood how to play their champion. They just didn't want to play the game. Like that's
Well, I
the
feel
best way I
like
could put it.
I feel like if you're a player below diamond, you don't know how to fucking play the game.
Sure.
I think, or like I'll shit on myself for this. Like I'm like this month in, I'm like I know I was like, oh, if I tried really hard, I could probably hit diamond. I absolutely do not want to do that anymore because it is not worth the time to deal with these fucking like children that are on your team. And sure, it's not always their fault. I'll get shit on, but like,
Sure.
just the amount of people that have just been ruining games in the last like week alone. I hit gold. I'm like completely satisfied. I absolutely do not want to touch ranked until if I don't even know how the split, like the mid split or whatever is going to reset.
Right.
I don't want to play it. It is 100% not worth it. I know Purple's asked me if he wanted to do VOD reviews with me. I'm like, I understand it's probably very helpful, but like I can pick out all the things I've done wrong, but when my Zeri ease over a wall into 4 enemy champions and we lose the game of that,
Yeah.
that's not you can't fix that. I can't like go into the next game because if I go into the next game and I have a Zeri and I tell her, hey, don't do this, the person's gonna, tell me, KYS or like fuck you. Like it's
Right.
it's I personally feel like there is no point to VOD review. You probably just struggle through it. Because you're probably making mistakes that you probably don't even need to watch a replay for. I feel like VOD reviews would be like if you're doing like little things. I don't know. I'm just being like a cynical asshole right now, but this game just sucks right now, and I'm not having any fucking fun with it.
I'll say I think I grabbed a lot of good info from the VOD review on things that I could do better, even not just that game, but other games I could apply to. Warding areas, what I should do as a support in the lane to help build a lead. And I realized in that game that I did fuck up, and I could have got the Zeri way ahead, way earlier. We kind of got lucky that the Vayne doesn't know how to freeze a lane, but we could have got way ahead way earlier, maybe like 4 waves ahead, and really could have imposed our will on the enemy team. But because of a decision I made, it definitely delayed that. Now, like I said, if that Vayne was good, she could have punished it. She wasn't good. She didn't punish it. But because of that, it's like we could have been... It's a big swing, right? Like, we could have been way far ahead, and she could have put us way far behind because of the one decision I made. I'm like, cool, I can change that in the future. That will affect every game I play. Every game I play. It won't just be that particular game because it didn't come down to a mistake in the team fight. That came down to a mechanical understanding in the very early game of the lane. So definitely things to learn, little things here and there, but I think sometimes those little things are what you need to either you yourself be a carry or propel a carry ahead to help you win the game and hopefully not tilt. But at the end of the day, you can't control someone else's tilt, and that's what it is, and it's gonna happen. It happens. It always does. So it's
just happening way too frequently.
I agree.
And I say this, I sort of I say this at the beginning of every season. I hope this is the last season I play this game, or like I'm like, it's funny, but it is not fun. Right now, it is 100% not fun.
Very difficult.
So I'm sorry for being a negative Nancy, but I
thought you were a Deanie Downer.
could be that.
No, but other than that, I don't really have anything else for you guys on this mailbag episode. This went actually a lot longer than I expected it to, so thanks for hanging in there, sticking around with us. Like I did mention on the Discord, there is a thread for your thoughts on Season 13. There's also a thread about the Chat GPT idea. Didn't get any feedback on whether you guys thought that was interesting, funny, don't do it again, please continue doing it, anything like that. So still looking for information or feedback on that segment for the champion review. Other than that, I don't have anything else to go with.
YouTube might be a little slow with gameplay because I just don't feel like playing, or maybe if we stream or something, but so it might be a little bit slower over there. But as always, guys, hit that like, subscribe, follow, review, whatever you can to spread us out there.
Yeah.
In the description, make sure you hit the link tree, join our Discord, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. We want to hang out with you guys, and playing this game with more people is always going to be better.
More people is mo better.
Yep. So yeah, that is it, guys. We will see you tomorrow for the patch, and then on Friday for Champ Review. So hope you guys are enjoying your week, and we will see you on the next episode.
Later, y'all.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. Click right here to see the previous episode of the According to Low Elo podcast. Click right here to see the most recent gameplay video. Thanks again.